All right, let's talk about carbon dioxide and how it finds its way back into the air. You might think that once plants grab that CO2 during photosynthesis, it's gone for good. But actually, a lot of that carbon dioxide ends up right back where it started. Here's how it works. When plants' animals respire, that's just a fancy word for breathing and using energy, they take in oxygen breakdown glucose, which is a type of sugar. The result? Carbon dioxide and water. That's the same reaction happening inside your cells every time you breathe out. So every breath you take is putting a little bit of carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. And it's not just us. All living things respire, including plants. Plants take in CO2 during the day. At night, when there's no sunlight for photosynthesis, they give out carbon dioxide, just like we do. Then there are decomposers, fungi, and bacteria. They break down dead plants, dead animals. They're also respiring, releasing even more carbon dioxide into the air. Imagine a flow diagram. Carbon dioxide moving from the air into plants, then back out again through animals, plants at night, decomposers. It's a constant cycle. Carbon dioxide in, carbon dioxide out. Next time you take a breath, or see a pile of leaves breaking down in the yard, remember, you're looking at a tiny part of this giant carbon cycle in action.
Fossil fuels and combustion. There is one more very important set of processes to add to the diagram showing how carbon moves from the air through organisms and back to the air again. When organisms die, they are not always broken down quickly by decomposers. Sometimes their bodies fall into places where there is no oxygen, such as a peat bog or deep in the ocean. In these places, the decomposers cannot respire because there is not enough oxygen for them. Instead, the organism's bodies get gradually buried as more and more sediment builds up on top of them. High pressure and heat change their remains into fossil fuels, including coal, oil, or natural gas. Changing dead organisms to fossil fuels takes a very long time. Most of the fossil fuels that we use on Earth today were formed hundreds of millions of years ago. Oil and natural gas formed when tiny marine organisms died and fell to the seabed. This oil rig, in the sea off West Africa, has pipes that go deep into the seabed where deposits of liquid oil are present. The oil is brought up through the pipes and taken ashore to be used as fuel. Coal was formed from the remains of plants that grew in huge swamps. Their remains were buried over millions of years, slowly turning into coal. Coal is dug out of the ground and then used as a fuel for cooking or heating homes, but most of it is used in power stations to generate electricity. Fossil fuels contain carbon. This came from the carbohydrates, fats, and proteins in the dead organisms. When we burn a fossil fuel, the carbon in it combines with oxygen from the air and forms carbon dioxide. This is called combustion. We can add the formation and combustion of fossil fuels to the flow diagram. The completed diagram is called the carbon cycle.
What is the symbol for carbon? C. Co. Ca. Cr. What form of carbon is in pencils? Diamond. Charcoal. Coal. Graphite. Which is a carbon compound? Oxygen. Carbon dioxide. Nitrogen. Water. What do plants use in photosynthesis? Carbon monoxide. Methane. Ethane. Carbon dioxide. What do decomposers release? Oxygen. Nitrogen. Carbon dioxide. Hydrogen. What is diamond made of? carbon, iron, lead, silicon. What is respiration's main product? Oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide. What do animals need from plants? Proteins, water, nitrogen, oxygen. What do plants release at night? Oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide. What is glucose used for? Respiration, fermentation, photosynthesis, digestion. What do decomposers break down? Minerals, water, waste products, oxygen. What is a non-metal element? Carbon, copper, gold, iron. What do plants convert into carbohydrates? Carbon dioxide, nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen. What do animals exhale? Oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide. What is the respiration equation? Glucose plus oxygen, carbon plus oxygen, nitrogen plus oxygen, water plus oxygen. What is a form of carbon? Graphite, iron, lead, silicon. What do plants need for photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide, nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen. What is a carbon compound in air? Carbon dioxide, ethane, propane, methane. What do decomposers release into air? Carbon dioxide, nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen. What do plants make from carbon dioxide? Carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, proteins.